be the first yoga studio in Old North St. Louis, and Yoga Buzz is offering assistance to raise capital. Joining us now is Elle Potter of Yoga Buzz and Jamie Austin of Mindful Movements. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So behind the scenes, we talked a lot about your organization, Yoga Buzz. Very interesting. Tell me more about it.
So Yoga Buzz, we're a 501c3 nonprofit here in St. Louis. We have been around for about a year and a half, and our goal is to make yoga accessible to everybody throughout the St. Louis area. So we host pop-up yoga events around the city. We've actually got our 100th pop-up event happening tomorrow night.
How often do you do them? 100?
It's been a busy year and a half.
Right. So how frequently do you do the pop-up yoga events?
We usually have anywhere between 3 and 5 a month.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we do these pop-up yoga events followed by some sort of social interaction, whether it's a yoga at a brewery followed by a beer tasting, or we'll do yoga followed by dinner or live music, and the idea is to give people a chance to interact with other people, like-minded people within the community.
So tell me, why is it important to do these pop-up yoga events? Like, why did you make it a nonprofit?
Well, the first event that we did at the Schlafly Tap Room in July of 2014, I realized that the idea of taking yoga outside of the yoga studio was making yoga less intimidating for people who maybe had never tried it before because they didn't know what to expect from a yoga studio. And so it kind of moved from there. It's like, look, we're making yoga accessible, but we're making yoga accessible to the same demographic that's already showing up to yoga. So how do we expand that beyond the perimeter of who's usually coming to a yoga class and hit other communities and other demographics?
What has been the feedback?
It's been, I mean, the longer we've gone on, the more diversity we're seeing in our events. Like one of our oldest yogis that are coming is, I just call her Mom. She's, I believe she just turned 84.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's
And
really,
where was she? Was she at the brewery?
She's come to a few.
Well, you know.
She'll go anywhere and do yoga. It's fantastic.
And that's the point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were telling me that it's just not a young white woman's movement, right? It's not just an exercise for them.
I certainly embody what the general demographic for yoga is, and being a woman in her 30s who's white, who has a bit of expendable income and who's relatively fit already. But just because that's what we see a lot of in social media or on magazines, on television, doesn't mean that those are the only people who can do yoga. And so trying to get more men to the practice, trying to get more women of color, people who are fuller bodies, all ages, and veterans are another group that we're working with in the St. Louis area as well. And
so to do that, you guys are moving into Old North St. Louis through Jamie's impending business, right?
Yeah,
Mindful Movements, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so tell me, why did you choose Old North St. Louis?
I love that area. I think that the growth potential in that area is just so big right now, and I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I think it's beautiful, and I've been going down there for years, looking at spaces and being like, I want that house, I want that house. So even though I don't currently live there, it's a place that I want to live, and I love the community.
And you were setting an intention even then.
I was
thinking about yoga just a little bit, right? So how do you guys know each other?
We used to work at a yoga studio together a few years back, and Jamie was actually in the teacher training that I helped lead at the studio. And so when she mentioned at one point a couple of years ago that she had a dream of opening her own studio one day, I filed that information back.
I didn't know she was listening as hard as she was.
So when I learned of a lot of the things that are going on in Old North to bring new businesses to the area, I scheduled an appointment, and then I told Jamie she had a meeting.
I love that. I love how we plant seeds and don't even know we're doing it, you know? So we're going to talk more about Mindful Movements and this fundraiser that you're going to be having coming up pretty soon. We'll have more with Yoga Buzz and Mindful Movements after this break. Stay with us. Great.